Trell did not understand but agreed to send the message. Vela knew she was risking everything. Her position, her future, even her life. But the memory of Olivia standing tall before her gave her courage. Vela left her chambers, heading toward the command center where her father waited. Every step brought her closer to confrontation. She had never defied the Emperor before, but after seeing humanity through Olivia, she could not allow their destruction. The royal guards bowed as she passed. Their loyalty was to the Empire, not to her personally. If her plan failed, they would not hesitate to arrest her. The massive doors to the command center slid open. Emperor Zax turned to face his daughter. His expression severe. "Daughter, the humans refuse our terms. They must be taught respect," he said. "Father, I request permission to negotiate further," Vela said, keeping her voice steady. "The time for talk has ended." The Emperor responded, "A demonstration is required." Vela took a deep breath before speaking. "These humans are different, Father. I have studied them. They could be valuable allies rather than subjects." Zax looked at his daughter with suspicion. "You speak strangely. Since returning from the surface, what happened there? I saw their strength not in weapons or technology but in spirit." Vela said, "We should learn from them, not destroy them." Zax laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the command center. "Learn from primitives. Has the royal blood grown thin in you?" "Daughter." Vela stood taller, all four arms. At her sides, "I believe destroying them would be a mistake. I ask you to reconsider." The Emperor stepped closer. "Their leader will surrender or watch their outposts burn one by one, beginning with their moon base." Vela felt cold fear grip her heart. Her message to Earth would not arrive in time. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Admiral Krez rushed to a console. "Imperial Majesty, a small fleet of human ships approaches. They are hailing use impossible." Zax hissed, "They have no ships capable of reaching us so quickly. Put them through." Vela said quickly before her father could object. The main screen activated, showing the face of Olivia, the soldier from the embassy. She wore a different uniform now, one marking her as more than a simple guard. "This is Captain Olivia Bennett of Earth Defense Force. We received your warning, Princess Vela, and request immediate parley." Zax turned to his daughter, rage on his face. "What have you done?" "I prevented a war, Father," Vela said softly. "One we might not win." The Emperor stared at the human on the screen. "How did you reach us so quickly? Your technology is primitive." Captain Bennett smiled. "We have friends beyond your knowledge. Emperor, the galaxy is larger than you realize." Vela felt pride watching Olivia speak so boldly to her father. She stepped forward. "I request permission to meet with the humans, Father, to hear their proposal." Zax studied his daughter, then the human captain on the screen. Something had changed in the balance of power. He could feel it. "Very well, daughter," Zax said finally. "But remember, you represent the Empire. Be worthy of your blood." Vela bowed to her father, then looked at Olivia on the screen. "I will meet with you, Captain. Prepare your terms." As the communication ended, Vela felt a strange sensation in her chest, something new and frightening yet wonderful. The human had come for her, had responded to her warning against all odds. Perhaps there was more to learn from these creatures than she had imagined. Vela returned to her chambers to prepare for the meeting. Her hands trembled slightly as she changed into formal diplomatic attire. The cleansing mist had washed away her doubts, leaving only determination. She would save both her people and the humans from unnecessary conflict, and perhaps in doing so discover something new about herself. Princess Vela of the Aurelian Empire stood in her private chambers aboard the massive royal vessel orbiting Earth. The purple-skinned alien woman with 4 arms and iridescent scales trembled beneath the gentle spray of cleansing mist. She could not stop thinking about what had happened during the diplomatic mission. The memory of the human soldier still burned in her mind. She had never seen such a creature before. Humans were new to the galactic community, primitive by Aurelian standards, yet something about them fascinated her beyond reason. Vela had first noticed the soldier Olivia standing guard at the Earth Embassy. Olivia had bright red hair and freckles across her pale skin, features no Aurelian possessed. The soldier stood tall and confident, despite being physically weaker than any adult Aurelian. As the cleansing mist washed over her scales, Vela tried to understand why the sight of Olivia had affected her so deeply. The royal blood of 1,000 generations flowed through her veins, yet she felt weak in the presence of this human. The mist cycle finished and Vela stepped onto the drying platform. Her forearms extended outward as warm air brushed across her form. She closed her large violet eyes, remembering how Olivia had saluted her with such precision and respect. The diplomatic meeting had gone poorly. The Earth representatives made demands the Aurelian Empire would never accept. Vela knew her father, Emperor Zax, would likely order a show of force against the humans to remind them of their place. But now the thought troubled her. Vela dressed in her royal attire, the shimmering fabric conforming to her tall, slender frame. She dismissed her attendants, needing to be alone with her thoughts. The communication panel on her wall flashed. Vela touched it with her lower right hand. News of the failed negotiations has reached the Emperor Royal Daughter. He requires your presence in the command chamber, said Admiral Krez, his tone formal and cold. Tell father, will arrive shortly, Vela responded. She turned away from the panel, staring at her reflection in the polished metal wall. Her scales shimmered with anxiety. The human soldier had done something to her, something unexpected. Vela had lived for 80 Earth years, still young for an Aurelian. She had seen countless species fall under Aurelian rule. Humans were meant to be no different. Yet something about them seemed special, the way they fought for each other, the way they created art and music, the way Olivia had looked at her not with fear but with curiosity. The Imperial ship shuddered slightly as it adjusted orbit. Vela knew what would happen next. Her father would order a demonstration of power, perhaps destroying a small human outpost. To show Earth what resistance meant, she could not let that happen. Vela moved to her private terminal, accessing classified files about Earth and its defenders. The information scrolled before her eyes. Humans were resourceful, adaptable, quick to learn. They had advanced from primitive technology to space travel faster than any species in recorded history. They were dangerous not because of their strength, but because of their determination. When Vela had locked eyes with Olivia during the diplomatic meeting, she had sensed that determination. The human showed no fear despite facing an alien princess who could end her life with a simple command. Vela made her decision. She would need to act quickly before her father gave the order. She pressed a hidden sequence on her royal insignia, activating a secure channel. Her most trusted advisor, Trell, appeared on the screen, his old face concerned. Princess, what troubles you? He asked. I need to send a message to Earth, Vela said secretly without imperial knowledge. Treason, Trell whispered, his eyes widening. No saving lives, Vela corrected. I have seen something in these humans, something worth protecting. Trell hesitated, then nodded. Princess, I have served your family for generations. I trust your judgment. What message shall I send? Warn them about the coming attack. Tell them I wish to meet with their leader and the soldier named Olivia. Vela said. The soldier, the human guard, Trell asked, confused. Yes, she represents what makes humans special. Vela explained. We have conquered worlds with our technology, but these humans have something else. Something we lack. The shuttle bay of the Imperial vessel gleamed with polished metal surfaces. Captain Olivia Bennett and her small delegation of 3 other humans stood waiting. Their simple blue uniforms looked plain compared to the ornate armor of the Aurelian. Guards. Vela entered the bay with only 2 guards at her side. She had insisted on a small reception against her father's wishes. She wanted the humans to feel welcome, not intimidated. Captain Bennett, it is good to see you again, Vela said, extending her upper right arm in the human greeting style she had studied. Captain Bennett took her hand without hesitation. Princess Vela, thank you for your warning. It saved many lives. The princess nodded, pleased by the human's directness. Shall we speak privately? The royal meeting chamber was designed to impress visitors with Aurelian power and wealth. Giant view screens showed the vast Aurelian fleet orbiting Earth. The furniture was made from rare metals found only in the outer reaches of the Empire. Vela dismissed, the guards causing them to look at each other in confusion. Princess, this is against protocol. One said I take full responsibility, Vela replied, her tone leaving no room for argument. Once alone, Captain Bennett seemed to relax, her posture becoming less rigid. I didn't expect a private audience, Your Highness. Vela gestured toward a seating area. I believe we can speak more honestly without others present, Captain. The human sat down, her movements cautious yet graceful. Why did you warn us, Princess? What do you hope to gain? Vela considered her words carefully. I saw something in your people, something worth preserving. My father sees only another world to bring into the Empire. I see potential for more. Captain Bennett raised an eyebrow. More in alliance, not conquest, Vela explained. Humans have advanced quickly. You adapt, learn, create in ways my people have forgotten. The human studied her with those strange round eyes. Why should I trust you? Vela leaned forward, extending all four of her hands, palms up in the traditional Aurelian gesture of complete openness. I risked everything to contact you. I still do. Bennett looked at Vela's hands, then slowly reached out, touching one of them with her own small, five-fingered hand. The contact sent an unexpected warmth through Vela's scales. The captain spoke quietly. We know more about your empire than you might think, Princess. We have allies, others who have resisted Aurelian expansion. They helped us intercept your ship. Vela withdrew her hands, surprised by this revelation. Who Bennett smiled slightly. That would be telling too much, but know this: Earth will not fall easily. We prefer peace, but are prepared for war. Vela felt admiration growing for this human and her kind. They were so young, as a species, yet spoke with such confidence. I do not want war, Captain Bennett. I want change, Vela said. The human leaned back, studying the alien princess. What kind of change? For generations, the Aurelian Empire has expanded, bringing worlds under our control. Some came willingly, others did not. We believed it was our right, our duty even, but seeing your world, your people. I question this path, Captain Bennett nodded slowly. Empires rise and fall, Princess. History teaches us that. Vela stood, moving to the view screen that showed Earth, a beautiful blue planet. Do you know how old I am, Captain, by your measurements? The human shook her head. I would not presume to guess your age. Princess, 80 of your years. Yet I am considered barely an adult. Vela said, my father has ruled for 300 years, his father before him for 500. The Empire thinks in terms of millennia, not decades. The human seemed impressed by these numbers. Vela turned back to Bennett. Our longevity has made us patient, but also resistant to change. We see other species as children to be guided under our rule. But your kind humans, you live such short, bright lives, yet accomplish so much. You create, you innovate. You feel with an intensity we have lost. Captain Bennett stood, joining Vela at the view screen. What are you suggesting, Princess? A revolution. Revolution. Vela tasted the word, finding it both frightening and exciting. Perhaps not so dramatic, Captain. But evolution. The Empire must change, or eventually it will fall. I have studied your history enough to know this. Captain Bennett turned to face Vela directly. You want to use us as an example to change your empire? Not use you, work with you. Vela corrected, my father. Respect strength. If Earth can show strength, he will listen. The human crossed her arms. And what happens when he doesn't listen? Vela had considered this possibility many times since making her decision. I am not the only one who questions the old ways, Captain. There are others within the royal court who see the need for change. We are few, but our positions give us influence. Bennett nodded slowly. A faction within the Empire. Interesting. How many? Enough, Vela said vaguely, not wanting to reveal too much, even to this human who intrigued her. So, the captain seemed to understand the princess. Caution, she changed the subject. Tell me about yourself, Princess, not the Empire. The question surprised Vela. No one had ever asked about her personally, only her position as royal daughter and imperial representative. May as you? Olivia said, her voice softening. What do you enjoy? What makes you happy? Vela found herself responding without thinking. I love the stars, not as conquests, but as wonders. I study ancient texts from worlds long gone. I create music, though few hear it. The human smiled. You play music, I do too. What instrument? Vela described the lyrical sphere, a complex Aurelian instrument that created melodies based on the player's emotional state. It cannot be mastered. Only felt, she explained. Fascinating. Olivia said, I play the violin. Maybe someday we could play together. The image of them creating music together struck Vela as both impossible and desirable. She found herself nodding. I would like that. They talked for hours longer than Vela had planned, the conversation flowing easily between matters of state and personal interests. Vela learned that Olivia had grown up near an ocean, had studied both military strategy and art history, and had a small animal companion called a cat. Olivia shared stories of Earth, its diverse cultures, its troubled history, its beauty. Vela found herself enchanted by the descriptions, wanting to see these places for herself as their time grew short. Olivia returned to the matter at hand. So, Princess, what do you propose? How do we prevent war between our worlds? Vela had been considering this throughout their conversation. I believe we need a demonstration, not of power, but of cooperation. Something that shows both our peoples the benefits of alliance. What did you have in mind? There is a crisis developing in a nearby system. Vela said the Krelian plague is spreading rapidly, affecting multiple species, including both Aurelians and humans. The Empire has medical technology that could help contain it, but we lack the creative adaptation your scientists have shown. Perhaps together we could find a solution. Olivia nodded slowly. A humanitarian mission, saving lives rather than taking them. Precisely, Vela said. My father values practical results. If we can show that humans and Aurelians work well together, it opens the door to further cooperation. The human captain considered this. It would need to be a true partnership, not humans serving under Aurelian command. Vela agreed quickly, of course, equal partners with shared credit for any success. Olivia extended her hand. We have a starting point. Princess, Vela took the offered hand again, feeling that strange warmth at the touch. We do. Captain Bennett, their meeting concluded, Vela escorted the humans back to the shuttle bay. She was aware of the guards watching curiously. The sight of their princess walking side by side with a human as an equal was unprecedented as Captain Bennett prepared to board her shuttle. She paused, turning back to Vela. You took a great risk. Warning us. Princess Wyvila hesitated, then decided on honesty. Something about you, Captain. You showed no fear when we met. Your eyes held mine as an equal. No subject of the Empire would dare do that. I wanted to understand why. And now I begin. To Olivia smiled, her strange human expression causing an odd flutter in Vela's chest. Until we meet again. Princess, she said with a small bow that managed to seem respectful without being submissive. Vela watched the human shuttle depart, then turned to face her father, who had appeared silently behind her. You spent much time with the human emperor, Zack said. His tone neutral. We had much to discuss. Father, Vela replied, careful to keep her voice respectful. And what did you learn from this primitive creature? Vela chose her words carefully. They are not what we thought, Father. They have potential beyond our expectations. I believe an alliance would benefit the Empire. Zack studied his daughter, his ancient eyes revealing nothing. You speak of alliance, not conquest. This is new. I have a proposal, Father, Vela said. The Krelian plague requires attention. Our scientists struggle to contain it. The humans have shown remarkable adaptability in medical science. Perhaps together we could find a solution. The Emperor considered this. The plague had spread to several important worlds, threatening Aurelian interests. Practical problems required practical solutions, even if that meant working with humans. You suggest cooperation. Zack said the word unfamiliar on his tongue. His father. A joint mission to contain the plague. If successful, it could open new possibilities for interaction with Earth and other worlds. Zack turned, looking out at the stars, visible through the bay viewport. You have always been different. Vela questioning traditions, seeing patterns others miss. Perhaps that is what we need in these changing times. Vela held her breath, hardly daring to hope. I will consider your proposal, the Emperor said finally. But remember, daughter, the Empire comes first. Always. Vela bowed deeply. Of course, Father. Alone once more in her chambers, Vela allowed herself to celebrate this small victory. The door to change had opened slightly now. She needed to ensure it opened wider. Over the next several days, preparations began for the joint mission. Vela worked tirelessly with Imperial officials to arrange for human scientists to board the medical vessel that would travel to the affected worlds. She also spent time studying Earth history and culture, wanting to better understand Olivia and her kind Trill. Her old advisor watched her with growing concern. "Princess, your interest in these humans goes beyond diplomacy," he said. One evening, Bella looked up from the history text she was reading. "What do you mean, Trill?" The advisor gestured to the various Earth artifacts Vela had collected. Music recordings, art prints, even samples of human food. "You surround yourself with their culture, you speak. Of Captain Bennett, frequently your fascination seems personal." Bella considered denying it, but Trell knew her too well. "Perhaps it is," she admitted. "Is that wrong?" Trell sighed softly. "You are royal daughter. Your duty is to the Empire." Bella set aside the book. "My duty is to ensure the Empire's survival, Trill. These humans can help us evolve, become something greater than conquerors." Her advisor looked troubled. "Change comes with risk, Princess." "I know," Vela said, "but sometimes risk is necessary." The day arrived for Vela to board the medical vessel. She would personally oversee the mission. Another unprecedented move for a royal daughter. The Emperor had objected at first, but Vela had insisted, arguing that her presence would show the importance the Empire placed on the mission. As she prepared to depart, a message arrived from Earth. Captain Bennett would lead the human delegation. Vela found herself pleased by this news more than she should be. Perhaps the Imperial shuttle carried Vela to the massive medical vessel where both Aurelian and human scientists were already working together, somewhat awkwardly, but with shared purpose. Vela entered the main laboratory where Olivia waited, wearing the blue uniform of Earth Sciences rather than her military attire. "Princess Vela, welcome aboard," Olivia said with a warm smile. "Our teams are eager to begin work." Vela looked around the laboratory, seeing humans and Aurelians cautiously interacting, sharing information, comparing notes. It was a beginning, small but significant. "We have much to accomplish, Captain Bennett," Vela said. "But I believe this is the start of something important." Olivia nodded, her eyes meeting Vela's with that same fearless directness that had first captured the princess' attention. As they walked through the laboratory, reviewing the initial research, Vela felt a sense of possibility she had never known before. Two vastly different species working together, learning from each other. Perhaps this was the future, a universe of cooperation rather than conquest. Vela looked at Olivia walking beside her, the human who had changed everything, with a single fearless gaze. The universe was indeed full of wonders, some found in distant stars, others in unexpected encounters. Captain Bennett seemed to sense Vela's thoughts. She turned, meeting the princess' eyes. "Something tells me this is just the beginning." "Princess?" Vela nodded, feeling the truth of those words. "Yes, Captain Bennett, just the beginning."